Good morning, everybody. We're reading through Ezekiel, chapters 28 to 30. By now, we should be clued into the fact that the Lord is using Babylon the same way that He used Israel. He had he had raised up Israel because He knew that the nations that had occupied the land that became known as the Promised Land, their evil would hit a pinnacle where there was no evil left to do. And so He had prepared Israel to come in as His judgment on these nations and to replace them with a nation that would obey Him. That was the plan. That was supposed to happen. But we discovered, even through Ezekiel, where the Lord is saying that Judah, Israel, which was now called Samaria, Israel had done worse than the nations had done that they had replaced. And Judah had done even worse than Samaria. Not at first, but eventually they caught up and surpassed the wickedness of Samaria. So, you can't have this happening. The cure was worse than the disease. So, the Lord raised up another tool, Babylon. But this time, they're not like Israel. He didn't enter into a covenant with them. There was no promises. It was just a period of time that He gave them authority and power and instruction, and they went in and they brought discipline to all these nations. And He removed Israel. He deported them from the land for a period of 70 years. And then He'd start bringing them back from the various nations that He had scattered them to. But Babylon was just a tool, just an instrument, which He was using. But when their usefulness came over, he would deal with them because they went overboard in what He wanted them to do to Israel. And He reduced them so much that there was no record of their existence. For the longest time, scholars and people in the know considered that Babylon was a made-up nation, that they hadn't existed, that maybe they were a metaphor for something. But over a period of time, little bits of evidence was gleaned till they got to the point where they accepted that, yeah, this was a mighty nation. The Bible is accurate and correct in this, and that's how much he had lowered them. That's how much He had reduced them. But they were the instrument that He was using to bring correction. And we need to be aware of it. This is something that's important for us to be aware of, because the Lord will bring correction in. It's not a punishment. It is correction. It's correcting our path. It's getting us back on track where we're supposed to be. This is what that's about. It doesn't mean that He's forsaking us. It doesn't mean that He's out to destroy us. Not at all. He's bringing that correction. He's getting us back on track. It's because He loves us. The New Testament talks about this, that we know we're legitimate children because we do receive the discipline of the Lord. We do receive that correction. It's not punishment. It's not judgment. There is a day of judgment. This is not judgment. You know what? We should welcome correction. We should welcome it, so that we don't get to the point of Judah and of Samaria. But Lord, no, show me my heart. Lord, show me my ways where I'm not matched up with You. Show me where I'm not aligned with You. Lord, bring in that correction. Give me eyes to see and ears to hear, that I would know. It's not that we sit around and we examine every tiny little thing that we do. We should know it ahead of time. We should know His heart. We should know what pleases Him. But if there's something that we're not aware of, Lord, bring it to my awareness, that I can correct that. Yeah, it's not very wise to receive the correction of the Lord and not respond to it. We need to respond. I'm going to leave that with you today. He loves us. And because he loves us, he will bring the correction, and we should welcome it. Be blessed today, people. Love you all.